Why, good evening, or night, or morning, depending on viewing time of your preference. Either way, this is the Dead Film Society, and I am your host, Spencer Lee. That's who I am. Today, we are sitting with our very special guests. We have on the far side over there, Marc. That's great. He's
How's it
usually
going?
our floor director, doing well. And then
on the couch.
Sorry, I just interrupted you right there.
That's fine.
It's good that you're on the couch, though. And then we have Basma. She's our very special guest today.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Emily Griffith Technical College. That's where we're sitting at the moment. I almost just forgot, and it's really sad when that happens. Our floor director, our good friend, Hassel.
There he is.
Sick. I'll dig it. Today, we are speaking about Western and Eastern film, and everything in between. So, you two, I've been wondering, I'm just going to go into this. I've been wondering the difference between Western and Eastern film, Western being like United States of America, Hollywood, all that, and Eastern being like your Middle Eastern films, exactly, yeah, it's self-explanatory. Go for it. What's up, guys? Yeah.
I feel like, at least in Western, a lot of main, popular movies more focus on action. And all of the movies I've seen from the Middle East and Eastern movies are more dramatic and play off more human traits or
like emotional.
Yeah, emotional. That's what it is.
Content,
More than just look at this car blow up. Isn't that cool? Right?
Yes, I agree. Most definitely.
A difference to make much with the West and Middle East and West, because different idea, different thinking, different culture, different religion. But we always in Middle East we like movie for Hollywood's West because there's different culture we know, but we like learn more about movies, about action, about religion, what they have, different ideas, because we have different idea, emotional, different thing. But we like to watch the movies for Hollywood, for famous actors. Yeah.
Interesting. So I totally agree. The Western audience loves their explosions and kind of twisted plot lines that get in there, versus Eastern films. I haven't sat down and watched an Eastern film, to be honest. However, the few clips that I've seen were very emotion driven, almost kind of hailing back to Casablanca. Had quite a lot of intimate scenes in it, and I dig that. I think it's good to have differences in viewpoints and differences in the way of going about making media. And you mentioned Hollywood. The second question I have today, how does Hollywood compare to small budget film? It seems like a pretty easy question, but I just want to hear you guys elaborate a bit.
I think Hollywood is kind of stuck in their ways, honestly. I feel like independent or small budget films are willing to do something that big produced movies are not willing, because it's a risk. A lot of, not all Marvel movies, but a lot of Marvel movies recently have been formulaic, I feel like. It's just kind of this scene happens and then this scene happens, and you can watch another Marvel movie and the same thing will happen.
Predict what's going to happen, pretty much. You see it and it's I know what's going to happen.
Whereas a lot of small budget movies they can't rely on that known audience, so they have to do their own thing, and they have to figure out twists and stuff they could do just to attract more people.
Wow.
Yeah, my thinking is hard to make compare between Hollywood, because Hollywood now is the top. We can't make compare between Hollywood and film small budget because hard. A lot of money in Hollywood, a lot of actor famous, a lot of good cameras, good everything. But small budget, it's hard. We make compare.
Yeah, it is. I said it was an easy question, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely they don't compare in many aspects. And it's interesting, the formula, this is a bit off topic, but I think it still relates. I've been watching these whiskey review videos because I am turning of age here soon. And I noticed that it's harder for your bigger companies to branch out and start trying different recipes for their alcoholic beverages, and it's because they have that huge fan base that expect that specific formula. And I believe that I completely believe that Hollywood has like adopted that very straightforward, driven kind of a plot line. So that's interesting. This is good stuff. So I could jump in to the next question. I definitely could. However, we have a couple commercials that I want to watch, and they're not paid sponsors. I don't think I've mentioned that before. I say sponsors as if there's no monetary investment.
Being in the barbershop's that safe place. You can go and you can talk about whatever's bothering you. Your barber is the person you can talk to. It's somewhere between a therapist and a bartender. Gotta have a passion for it. The people come first. Your egos go second. Cutting hair needs to be your passion, and making that person's life better the moment they sit down in the chair to the moment they get up. And doing that any way you can, whether it's free or for money.
Already took one. Wait, there's bagels?
It's good stuff. Came back pretty quick from that. Caught that nice little. How, you guys, do subtitles and your English dubs of foreign films resonate with the Western audience?
I think a lot of Western audiences don't want to read subtitles. I feel like like a lot of people think they're better than subtitles. Like we don't need subtitles. Just make a movie that's in English.
I have different answer.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that way. I feel like subtitles, like foreign films with foreign languages are great movies. I think a lot of Western audiences think though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're so good, we don't need subtitles.
But we have a lot of people watch movies, West movies, but they have second language or they don't know English very well. We need subtitle because I read subtitle word by word. Why? Because my English second language. I have to read, I have to understand some word I don't understand, phrasal verb, some word much with another word I can't hear very well. But when I read the subtitle, I understand. Yeah. Sometimes I learn English in YouTube. I read the subtitle with here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually have never thought of it from that perspective, that it is a learning mechanism.
Yeah.
And that's, wow, that's
But
interesting.
another way, in my country, in Middle East, we watch a lot of movie from West, from America, like this. but we like to read different subtitle in Arabic. Sometimes we don't understand some word or culture when we read Arabic with scenes English or American. We match everything. Yeah.
Very cool.
Different answer.
Yeah, that's totally different, but that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. For myself, I can't do subtitles. I've never tried to branch out and seriously learn a different language. And just the rate that I watch movies is not enough to have like a good foreign film repertoire in my category. How do you say that? Yeah, in my kind of repertoire. Sure, whatever. Yeah. Regardless, and then dubs. I mean, I've watched cartoons that were English dubbed, but with cartoons you can't really tell because their mouths.
They're not
a cartoon
exactly,
mouth is just,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, that's cool. It's a learning mechanism just as much as it is super obnoxious.
Yeah.
I'd love to move into my next question. For anybody who, I struggled with this, indie does not mean Indian. It's a shortening of independent. I've made a fool of myself a couple times with my presupposition that that's what that meant. But how have indie films changed the face of Hollywood? What an incredible question.
I think it's making, like I said before, Hollywood doesn't want to change, but I feel like at some point with all these indie films coming out, Hollywood's gonna have to change, because these independent films are making the same quality for cheaper, and like they're making arguably sometimes better stories and better movies than like these huge production companies that are just putting out the same stuff all over and over again. So I think it's gonna change Hollywood to like look at making films in a different way, like go into more of an independent kind of look.
Yeah, no doubt, because independent films draw audiences. Obviously, there's huge films that were made completely independently. I honestly would say that I enjoy indie films more. That's a fine line I'm walking there. Than Hollywood films because of that formula. Because the fact that you can just predict what's going to happen, and with indie films, they're almost forced, I think, to step outside of the box and to tread waters that have not been tread before.
I think they write stories more that they want to write, whereas like production companies have to make a story that audiences will like.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, have you guys seen Hunt for the Wilder People? No, it's a New Zealand movie, but basically they made it because the director loved the story, and he wanted to make it into a movie, and no one outside of New Zealand really knew the book, and then they made the movie, and it was the highest grossing movie in New Zealand.
Right on.
And then they brought it to America, and it was like a huge hit here too. So it was
Yeah.
you know, they could do what they want and still make great stories and make money and a good movie.
Definitely. Now, as far as Hollywood versus independent films, this is kind of like a Western thing. In
Western Middle East?
Yeah, in the Middle East, do they have a large kind of Hollywood-style company, or is it more independently made?
No, independently made, yeah. But it depends about ideas, actors, script, how to make the movie, make up the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I wish we had a bit more time to dive a little further into some of these topics, but it's been great speaking with you guys.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of stuff came out now.
I hope to have you guys on maybe in the future. We will see you guys around.